So what are those northerners doing right now? Putting their gardens to bed? Here in Florida, no. No, we've got a lot of gardening we can still do. So today what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take you on an absolute full vegetable, tropical plant, native plant garden tour. I'm gonna do the whole yard, front, back, and sides, so you can see, one, how things are looking here in winter, and get some updates on some of our projects to see what's working, what's not, and what adjustments we're gonna make. Okay, let's go. So when it comes to gardening here in Florida versus a lot of other states, we can grow flowers year round, and I think this is one of the ones that is just such a great plant to have in your yard. It is a trailing vining plant, and this is our Dune sunflower. I'm trying to think if there any part of the year that I've seen where it hasn't been blooming at some point. I mean, we're still getting new flowers, which is gorgeous, right? I mean, you can have flowers in the middle of winter. Well, we're not in the middle of winter. We're at the beginning of winter, but it's still a great time. And you can see back there, we still have some of our tropical flowers that are doing great. Now I live in zone 10A, so it might be a little bit different if you live in North Florida, but I love this plant. I think it's such a great plant to add to your yard. And I did it in a really fun way. We had this hedge that was in a circle, and I planted it in the middle, and it grows up and over. I just did a little bit of a pruning here. I haven't cleaned up anything yet, but I love it. I love it. The bees have been really loving it. They were out here earlier in the morning, and they come back out in the evenings. Now that we're in the middle of the day, they're kind of, I don't know what they're doing, but they're somewhere else. Well, they might be on a different native plant right now, actually. I actually know that they're on another native plant because they've been hanging out there a lot lately. But Dune sunflower, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. This could be an alternative ground cover. I wouldn't use it as a grass replacement, but like if you have an area where you just want to kind of, I don't know how you say it, like over here, like you just want to have like a ground cover in like this section, this would be a great one. They do grow, not aggressively, but they are, yes, they like full sun. You should totally get some. Okay, let's do a vegetable garden update because hello. Well, we're looking very sad. Here is the Seminole pumpkin. This is one of them. I have others that are looking better. This was our one and only transplant, and it has just, I don't know. What do you guys think? What's going on here? It's got its first flower, which is just opening. This, out of all the plants in the vegetable garden, probably gets the absolute most sun. So it is gonna get your 6 to 8 hours, which is probably a little bit too long for this plant, which might be why it's a bit stressed out. It's in soil. I actually even added some of the, Miracle Grow soil just to help fill in the spot. So I don't think we have a rooting issue, but it's just sad. The other plants, on the other hand, oh, I think this is an onion I left here. Is that what this is? Yeah, I think so. So here we got, these are our Everglades tomatoes. So I threw a couple seeds, or no, these were the transplants. These are the transplants. I put some seeds in some other locations. And they've been very interesting how slow or fast they've been popping up. So they are growing and they're doing really good, I feel like. No damage, they look pretty happy. And we'll just see how they go through the winter. And then here we've got one of our Cherokee Trail of Tears beans. And I'm starting to realize there must be 2 different types because I am seeing some have purple pods like this and some have green pods, which is interesting. But I keep planting in and filling in spaces. Mr. Bunny keeps eating them, which is probably why I'm going to start getting not probably, it's why I'm gonna start doing some more raised beds over here, because Mr. Bunny just causing trouble. But we are getting some beans, which is exciting. I don't think these plants are the most happy, just because it's been getting cold. This is an oddly cold year. Normally I'd have another, I mean, my goodness, we have had so many 70-degree day Christmases that normally this wouldn't be a problem for these taking off at this time of year, but it has been cold enough that I've actually legitimately thought about, should I move into my cold weather crops? I wouldn't normally do it this early, but I'm considering moving over into other crops because it's just, I don't know, are these pumpkins? These might be, I might have planted some seeds here and I totally forgot about them, which just talks to the different rates at which things are coming out of the ground, because I don't remember planting these here, but I do remember I planted some at different points of the whole gardening timing. So more beans, a different type of tomato plant. I think these ones were, which one was this? Oh, I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. It was one of the bigger red ones. I thought I'd throw them in and just see. Oh, and here you can see, here's a different, these are all from the same bunch of beans, but we got different colors. More. All these are the Cherokees. Oh, we actually got a pod that's drying up. Cool. Now we're probably getting taken down by some long-tailed skippers. I've been getting more and more of those in my garden. This is just funny. These are a fire bush. I guess a bird pooped them in here. There is no way these are gonna survive in here, but I haven't taken them out just because I don't want to lose all the soil in here. I need to reset this, but I don't know what I'm going to put in it, so I've just let them keep growing. But look, miniaturized fire bush. Isn't that fun? And look at the color. I mean, because of the cold, they started having red leaves. I love it. One of the beautiful things about first cold snaps. It's all dependent on when the temperature changes, but look at that red veining on our native. But yeah, this is just because the birds eat the berries here. Okay, what do we got over here? Just more beans. Lots and lots of beans. Yeah, you know what? Those must be Seminole pumpkins, because straight across from them, here's another one. So I must have planted Seminole pumpkins. Okay. That's what happens when you forget things. More of the Everglades tomatoes. They're staying really tiny and they're just going really slow. But a bunch of you told me that they're kind of slow, and then they kind of, I guess, get their roots all going, and then boom. In the center bed here, these are also Seminole pumpkins. These were planted, I think, a week or two later, and they're doing way better than the ones that I transplanted. A lot happier, bigger leaves. I actually need to thin it because I think there's 2 plants here. I know a few of you guys said that the shop that we got these from, you're having problematic germination rates, so I did get better results not in doing them in little pots, but just directly sown into the ground. And then the temperature's been so weird. These beans are Calypso beans. What else do I have in here? I had Calypso beans. I had Haverty beans. I had 3 different types of beans in here. I also have my basil here. Oh, basil. And then sunshine mimosa growing. And then lots and lots of beans. So I've just got a lot of beans and squash going. Oh, there we go. Another pumpkin. A lot of beans. A lot of beans. A lot of beans. And then you can see, here's the purple pods. I don't know why it makes ones purple versus not. So if you look, even our Akise peppers, they're looking a little sad from the cold, but still putting out some peppers. Yay! But they're keeping going. They're still going. They're still green. I'll leave them for right now. The other little pepper plants I transplanted, many are doing fine. Oh, are we actually putting out a blossom? They probably don't like the cold. But Mr. Bunny, he's eaten some or dug them up. It's really annoying. I definitely need to do raised beds this coming year. But from a cold weather crop, these green onions just really are looking pretty right now. Ugh, I'm definitely thinking I need to switch to cold weather crops a lot sooner than I usually do. We're just getting so many cool days this year, way earlier. Ugh, but I wanted to get my raised beds in before I did that. Well, we'll just adjust, right? Always adjusting. All right, and then the rest of the garden, some fun things. Okay, so here is our Mexican petunia. Don't buy this. You can see this has gone nuts. This used to actually only be 2 plants a long time ago, and they go crazy. I only have kept them because I don't know what I'm gonna replace them with, and I have a sidewalk that goes around them. But you can see how tall they're getting. I did not realize they could get that tall. What is that, 10 feet tall? That's crazy. Our Cleodendron glorybowers are still putting out beautiful, beautiful coral flowers. So they're looking really nice. And then the cassia, the leaves look sad. Not surprising. It's native, I think, to Thailand, if I remember right. Desert rose still has a few flowers on it. And then, of course, firebush. Firebush, firebush. This needs to be cut back because this is looking bad. And do not mind my pine needles. I'll be sweeping those off when we put the Christmas lights up. Now what's interesting is you saw small plants had a lot of change in their leaves, and some of the more forward, outward leaves are starting to show their change. But when we kind of come back into the plant where it's probably staying a little bit warmer, all green. So it's interesting to see. And when we look at the top, I don't know if you can see this. You zoom in. A little more red. So where it's getting more protection, it's staying much greener. Now the smaller one, look at this. Lots of color change in the leaves. Lots. And a lot less flowers. But both of them, you know, this is why native plants are so important. Both of them are still putting out berries for our birds. So if I come back in here, look at this. You can see. So there's like an almost all the way right berry. And that's why this plant's great. This understory, this understory is really, really important for our birds. They like to come in here, they hang out, they eat some berries, and then they fly off. So you can see over here, see, flowers are dropping, and look at those beautiful berries. Really important for our bird populations. Peacock flowers, still got a few flowers left. I need to cut it back now that we're in winter time. I've got, let's see, some carrots that are starting to grow, and these are all Everglades tomatoes. So I'll have to thin these out whenever I get a chance. I'll let them get a little bit bigger before I thin them out, but that's pretty cool to see. And then you all remember from my sweet potato video, you know, we're gonna cover this up and mulch it. And I don't remember if I told you all in the sweet potato video, but this is all gonna get mulched. And then we're gonna probably switch over to, once we get past, I'm gonna try to get past the coldest months, and then we're gonna get some beds here and do more veggies over here, and then we're gonna wildflowers. I'm very excited. Speaking of wildflowers, let's take a look at our native butterfly garden. This is the monarch butterfly garden. And I want to call this out because if you have milkweed and you have some of that tropical milkweed, right, we've talked about, you need to cut it back when the native stuff starts dying back. So you can see our native swamp milkweed is pretty much, I think all of it's dead. There's a little bit of green stalk left, but not much. It's pretty much all dead. So if you have tropical milkweed, you need to cut it back. Those monarchs need to move on, generally speaking, because what I have noticed by contrast is this. This is our native butterfly weed. These are, some of you might remember from a previous video, I talked about how I was doing cuttings from my neighbor's yard, and these are what grew. I've transplanted them in here. I'm surprised they're even flowering, but they seem to be okay. So these have not shown any signs that they're gonna die back. At least this one doesn't. Let me see on the other side. There's another one over here. So this one looks like it might be starting to think about dying back. This one's a bit more exposed. So different plants, different timing. Interesting. Okay, let's see what else. Oh, and the porterweed. The porterweed just looks gorgeous. This is a great ground cover. If you're looking for another ground cover, again, not a great grass replacement if you're gonna walk all over it, but look at this. Look at this nice matting. Beautiful flowers. It's really filling in nicely. I am not putting down mulch in this area. I really want to see these natives reseed and start, right? Because we've had the coneflower? Black-eyed Susans, which is a type of coneflower. We got some Coreopsis that's just hanging on here right at the end. But I'm loving that these are all going to seed, so we can get some more of these in here. And then of course, looking pretty over here. It's got its last blooms on it, probably for the season. It's our ironweed. I cut down the longest stalks just because they were just too much. But these are looking really pretty. And it's starting to die back for the winter. So I'll cut back some of this stuff a little bit later. But I know the seeds are super important for birds right now. And you may not think it because you don't really see them on the plant. But I'm telling you, they're eating them. You know they're eating them when you start finding them in other places in your yard or your neighbor's yard. Oh, and speaking of them eating some seeds, the birds have gifted me with some native petunia. This is one of the ones that people discuss using as an alternative for Mexican petunia. I was really excited to find it. I did not plant this here at all, but it's been growing and it's been putting out some little flowers. It's really cute. I just realized I totally missed this section. So here is our more front-facing banana, and you can see it has put out 2 bunches right now. So we have the first, probably about a month older than this one. And then we have this one, right? It dropped a bunch of bananas. I was like, whoa, we have 3 now in this jar. It's pretty crazy. And then, boom, we just got a whole nother set of bananas. This is crazy that we're getting this many bananas. So each of these banana plants up front now has 2 bunches. Plus we have one of the bunches on the side yard. So we've got 5 bunches, and these will each be 40 to 50 pounds a piece, which is a lot. It's a lot. So that's 200 to 250 pounds of bananas. And then here we've got, this is our native blueberry, scrub blueberry. Looks like we got some leaf color change, but otherwise they're kind of hanging out, not doing much. We'll see what they put out, some nice berries. Oh, so important to our native wildlife in the winter, especially our pollinators. If we got any bees that hang back, Biden's alba. You can actually see some bees over here. They have been looking prettier and prettier as we head into winter. Ugh, they have flowers year round, but they are just extra special in winter time. I'm actually letting them gonna go to seed right in this area, and I'm gonna let them fill in this area, and I'll remove the pots later because they are just so pretty. Hello, bee. Now this plant I would not keep as close to walkways as I am doing. For my average gardener, these do have seeds that are going to get all over the place. If you look here, they got little, I don't know what you want to call them. They're also called tick seeds. These will stick to your clothes, and they are very pokey. So if you want to have this in your yard and you don't want to contain it to a pot, make sure that you put it somewhere that's going to not catch on your clothes all the time, because it can get really annoying really fast. All right, let's head into our food forest area. So here's our dwarf bananas. I've been cutting back a lot of the dwarf bananas. We are getting enough bananas from the large ones as we go into next year. I just don't think it's worth doing the effort of processing them. So I will be getting rid of a lot of these. I'll probably be using these as fillers for our raised beds. So I'm excited for that. Our cardinal flowers are looking really cute. The low ones, these are not looking cute. These look sad, but not surprising. They're supposed to do this right now. Here is our Florida poinsettia, which I don't know what those are. Are those like little berries? Interesting. Anyone else have Florida poinsettia? It looks like it's getting some spots. I'm wondering if that's like the color change about to happen. If you know, let me know. Climbing aster is starting to trellis itself, which is very exciting. Here, the mist flowers put out some new growth. And if we come down lower, our aquatic milkweed, it put out some flowers when we first put it in the ground, but we're really, we're getting cold. So look, we can see die back. But this one actually can go perennial for the year. Ugh, weed. So I'm curious to see what's gonna happen here. Oh, is this a papaya? These are papayas. Ugh, those papayas, I swear. One time a wildlife pooped here, and now I've got papayas eternally growing right in this spot. Miss Flowers put on some new growth. That's good. What else we got here? Oh, here's the white, what is this? White passion flower. If you can see, it's already started going up our trellis here, which is very exciting. And it's hanging out near this trellis. It really hasn't started trellising itself. I think it's thinking about it. So we'll let it do its thing. But I mean, overall, pretty good growth. It looks very pretty. It's definitely established itself well. Shiny wild coffee, looking happy, looking good. I was a little worried. It looked like it got a little bit of leaf burn when I cut out the banana behind me because it gave it a lot more sun. But now we're in these overcast days, so it looks like it's fine again. And the bananas will grow back in as we keep going. And then of course, here's our corky stem, passion flower. It's tending to just grow on the ground, but it does look like it started to trellis a little tiny bit there, and it's heading the way of this trellis. So I'm giving it a few more months, but they're definitely doing, everybody looks good overall. This mist flower is less good. I don't know if it's too much sun, not enough sun, or that's too close to that sprinkler, one or the other. But the aquatic milkweed looks nice, and oh, super exciting, we got seed pods. So I'm excited for that. I cannot wait, like a few months from now, I feel like when we start hitting spring, this area is gonna fill in a lot. Ugh, that's that weed I was telling you guys about. I'm gonna have to put some mulch or something down just to block this out, because otherwise it's gonna come back in force. And then you can see this one gets a little bit more shade, but this climbing aster looks really pretty, and it's definitely growing. So I cannot wait for it to go up, 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 up. Now over here on the food forest side, we've harvested 2 huge bunches of bananas in the last month. I think, what was it? Probably in the last week I harvested 170 pounds of food between papayas, sweet potatoes, and these wonderful, wonderful bananas. And we're continuing to get mulberries all throughout this tree. Again, not enough for like full-on harvest, but definitely enough to just, you know, come through, pick a few. Oh, can you guys see them? There we go. Lots and lots and lots and lots of pretty mulberries here. So it continues, it's doing a lot better. And if you want to go and learn more about mulberries, this is the everbearing mulberry. I did a whole video answering lots of questions from all the viewers. So go ahead and check that out. I'll put it in the description down below. Oh, and I did one all about sweet potatoes. Lots of videos on sweet potatoes, mulberries, and then of course I have all my videos showing bananas. Okay, I think that's enough for that big area. But just a reminder of how small this area is. And I get hundreds of pounds of food out of this just tiny area. So if you've been watching my channel and you're like, oh, I can't grow all this food, remember this is not a big space. It's not a big space at all. I think this is about 20 feet long from here to here. And depending on which section, you know, these bananas, it's only about 4 or 5 feet deep. It's not very big. You don't need a huge space to grow a lot of food. And what says winter more in Florida than citrus? And if you're not from Florida very long and that confuses you, just know, from like November to May, that is when a lot of citrus harvests happen. Now what's great about this plant, this is a calamansi or calamandin. Either name works, it just depends where you're from. But these actually will put out multiple crops. But you can see this one that's here in winter. I mean, look at that. Beautiful. I love this plant. And oh, what I'm thinking of doing is I'm gonna juice these to use them like lime lemon juice. Not for like a lemonade, not like a lemonade or calamansi-ade. What I'm gonna do instead is save it because we use lime juice and lemon juice in recipes. So what I'm gonna try to do is do this and can it. It'll probably be one of my first canning recipes. I'm starting another channel sometime soon, and we'll go on a whole canning adventure, and we'll see. But this is one of the things I'm thinking about canning is because we use lime and lemon juice regularly, and these are kind of in the middle of lemons and limes. They're really cute. They're really cute. Oh, just so you get inside. Look at the size of these. They're not big. Just teeny tiny. And they're gonna go a little bit longer. I'll probably pick them in the next week or so. Probably next weekend I'll pick them. But, oh, great plant. Love that. Here are our cordelians. And of course, ferns. Back here, beautiful tropical sage, still blooming. Oh, I love how red these are. I feel like when the camera picks them up, it freaks it out sometimes because they're just so bright. And then we of course have our native firebush hanging back out here in the semi-shade. And my jacaranda. Jacaranda looking very bushy. Ugh, it's an overcast day, boo. But yeah, you can just see, ugh, look at these, look at this. That red is so pretty. Ugh, so pretty. And of course, crotons, lots of painted crotons. They're all doing pretty good through the winter. Some grasses. And what else? Oh, back here, marlberry. Let's check out our native marlberry. So this is one of the plants, I think when it gets bigger, it's supposed to make, whew, I almost just gave myself a heart attack. I thought that was a snake when I stepped on it. Oh my gosh. Okay, but not surprising because there's a bunch of snakes that live back here. Which we let them live back here. I don't have any of the big ones like moccasins. They're all like the tiny racers and stuff like that. Oh, I gave myself a heart attack. Okay, but this is the marlberry. This is the marlberry. I think it's growing really well. The leaves look happy. It's just been slow. I don't know if it's because it's getting a little too much sun. But it's supposed to be like that large shrub type. It's got really pretty leaves. I cannot wait for this to start getting berries. It's about a year old now, I think. Probably about a year. Okay, we're gonna move into looking at our orchard. They're just like sticks right now. There's not a lot to see. But what is really cool, let me pull it down here without stabbing myself, is we've got our first blossoms on this calamansi. Super pretty. Oh, come back. So that's exciting. Overall, the trees look a lot happier versus when they were in the pots. So I'm very happy about that. Here's my other one. It's looking very much like a stick. Not anything really interesting going on there. Just hanging out. Oh, the mulberry. It's just because it's winter. But if you're wondering, that's what they're looking like right now. Kind of sad. That's okay. And this is different than what you're seeing in the food forest area because this one's a lot more exposed. So it's taking the elements on a lot more than the ones on the side of the house. I did get some fertilizer. What was it, iron you guys recommended? Did get some for there. And then we're gonna head down to our cuttings. Okay, let's look at the big cutting first. This one's looking sad. Remember I told you guys I thought that the big ones wouldn't do as well. And there you can see it's still going, but no new growth, nothing really going on. Versus the little one. Can we take a look at this little one? How crazy is this? How crazy. Do you see what's happening here? If you know what those are. Those are berries. So all of y'all who were like, how long does it take me to get berries? Apparently, if the cutting was about to go into berries anyways, like a week or two. So I'm probably gonna pull those off just so I can focus on root formation instead of, maybe I'll leave it on just for fun experiment. I'll probably leave it on just for an experiment so we can all see what happens. But oh my gosh. See, look at this. Even got berries down here. That's crazy. But we did get some new leaf growth, which is wonderful. And then we've got like, what's this? How many berries is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 berries up there and 4 berries down there. Insanity. Can you believe that? That's insane. If you're looking at tropical plants, hibiscus are still putting out flowers right now. Not a ton, but they are. And then of course, the classic of classic. Oh, that one looks good up there. Look at that orange. Beautiful. These are for sure juicing oranges. These are not, my neighbor was asking me, he's like, are these navel oranges? I was like, no. So navel oranges are eating oranges. These are definitely oranges that come out of Florida for juicing because you cannot eat these in the house. If you bite into them, they spray juice everywhere. Everywhere. So I'm guessing there's something like a Hamlin early mid, or I'm sorry, not an early mid because they're not in November. They're probably like a mid-season orange because they come usually January, February. But I'm gonna try some different things to help this orange tree. It's been looking a little sad lately. But we still have crop. Even when the outsides look bad does not mean your oranges are bad. So if you have an orange tree and you're like, ugh, the leaves look sad, some of the fruit's looking sad, I will tell you that does not mean that the orange on the inside is bad. So do not give up hope, even if they're looking sad. But we've got, probably 10, maybe 20 pounds of oranges on here. But mine usually are ready sometime in January. If you have an orange tree, it does not mean yours. Orange season goes from November to May, sometimes as late as June. It all depends on what type of orange you have. But I feel like that's pretty cool again. Okay, let's see. Ugh, taro. Elephant ear. It's spreading. I'm gonna have to deal with this. It's a hot mess. I know, the root is edible. Somebody's gonna tell me that. All the permaculture people, you're like, it's edible. I'm not eating this, so I don't want it. This one was left behind from the previous owners, and it's just slow, and I pull it and I pull it, but those big ones I cannot get out. The ones that we got out before was when we had our yard regraded, and it took a literal like bulldozer pusher. So those are there. Cordillions, here's a gardenia. Gardenias are not doing anything. They're just looking. Oh. Let's see. That's a cuckoo melon right there. Whoop, fell off. Uh-oh, it's gonna reseed. Oh well. There is my black sapote, still looking beautiful. Let's see what we got over here. Oh, y'all told me this. Oh, this is a type of philodendron. That's what you guys told me. Very good. Thank you for helping me with a miniature philodendron. Oh no, I can't remember. But it's a type of philodendron. It's very cute. There is some shiny corky stem. What am I saying? Shiny wild coffee right there. Type of orchid hanging out there. More crotons. I know, this is like the tropical part. We're just gonna keep on going. More miniature bananas. It's so interesting. Over here, I always get more hibiscus blooms. I don't know if it has to just do with the temperature. Ugh. Evil bitter melon right there. You can see its fruit hanging out. That's gonna spread more. Ugh, so annoying. But the hibiscus are nice. Let's focus on the pretty things. Okay, hibiscus is nice. More dwarf bananas. Probably gonna take more of those out. I'm thinking I don't know. I have to figure out what projects I'm doing next year. Are you guys in that point right now where you're just like, so much to think about? Let's go over here. Oh, my neighbor's yard. His yard's looking very pretty. He was thanking me. There's the papayas I gave him. I don't know about his mulberry. He might have killed it again. I think he said he killed it again. So, and then he's got some Dune sunflower too. Look at how cute it is. And there's his calamansi I gave him. But one of the things I wanted to point out, being a nosy neighbor, also this is very pretty, this flower, is if you look back here, you'll see some yellow. This is goldenrod, sweet goldenrod. Or it's seaside goldenrod, it's starting to fall over. That all came from my yard. The birds ate the seeds off of my goldenrod and dropped them over here. It was really cute, we were talking, and I'll show you my goldenrod. He's like, mine looks better than yours, which when it was just first blooming, his looked way better than mine. Better location, just because he had more of an open space. But why this is important, I have been seeing in some of the wilderness areas immediately near my house, there's goldenrod. There was never goldenrod there before. I think this just shows that, you know, when you bring wildlife in, wildlife will take native plants and redistribute it to the areas that they go to. They like his yard. They are going to some of the like canal water retention areas that are immediately next to my neighborhood. We did not have goldenrod there last year. And that's because I'm planting them, the wildlife is redistributing it. So you can have an impact with just 1 or 2 plants. If the wildlife come in, they'll take the seeds, they'll take the berries, they'll move them. So you can have a big impact. Aw, look at his firebush. His firebush looks so pretty. And you can see again that ombre is starting to happen as we start to head into the cold. Right, we're getting those reddish leaves, but we're still getting flowers. There's still bees over here. There's still berries. There's birds still hanging out. So don't think that you can't have an impact, because you can. And here we go, beautyberry. Lost some of the leaves. Got some new growth on leaves too. Look at that. That's pretty. It must have been from the warmer days lately. But some of the old berries, some of the birds have been coming in. Scorpion tail, oh, so pretty. Love the scorpion tail. Bees still like this. But some of it's looking a little sad in the back. And the bees balm in the back. I don't know. I just don't think they really like this area a ton. I'm gonna probably mix it up and maybe try to put some more semi-shade plants on this side of the house. I think it's just not quite enough sun for some of these. But that's okay. But look at this. That's looking good. That's the, what is it, Blue Ocean Morning Glory. But the funny thing is it keeps growing leaves here, but then it'll put the flower like way over here or way over here. It's interesting. This beautyberry was a lot late in putting out its berries. So we do have some of those fresh, beautiful berries. Ugh, aren't they so pretty? So pretty. I still have not made the beautyberry jam. I need to do that. It's on my list. Ugh, so much to do sometimes. It's a good problem to have. There's the gardenia. Oh, hit my head. So here on the arch, we're filling in. We've actually pruned this back a bunch of times. And now it's got Christmas lights on it as we get ready for the holiday season. But the coral honeysuckle has been continuing to grow really pretty. Look, you can see those silver leaves. Looking very pretty. It continues to get really nicely established, putting out some really nice vines. And then of course our passion flower. The leaves look a little sad right now. Probably more from the fact just the cold, you know. But it's doing great. It's still putting out runners into my neighbor's yard, but it's okay. And then our yellow top flower, putting out flowers still. It's very pretty. It's been filling in this area really nicely. And then of course our goldenrod. The bees have been all over this. And what's interesting is because these were falling into the pathway down here, I moved them and kind of hung them up on the vines, which has caused it to grow more flowers along the stalk, which is really pretty. We have more going to seed, and the bees are just hanging out here. This is what I was saying. They aren't hanging out on the Dune sunflower. They have been enjoying our goldenrod a lot. So this is a wonderful, unique plant. I would not, if I had done this again, I'm probably gonna find alternative locations for this. I just don't think this is the best for the goldenrod. It always wants to lean into the walkway because that's where the sun is. But if you have a full sun kind of open location, I've been seeing this out in the areas around my neighborhood now, and I think it looks really pretty. It stands up really nice and upright. Very attractive plant. So you can see we can grow lots of things here in Florida, even in the winter. But with the colder months coming a lot earlier than usual, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to adjust my plan for my vegetable garden. And if you're looking for ideas for your winter vegetable garden, go ahead and check out this 5 winter crops for Florida. And if you're looking for some more tours of my garden throughout the year, just so you can get inspiration, whether it's for winter or elsewhere, go ahead and check out this list of garden tours. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye.